Hey YouTube. Today I started working on the driveway or the lane or whatever you want to call it and we're working on it back to the barns, and hopefully next year we'll continue to work on it out to the pasture area in the pond where we plan to build our house. But this year our goal is to get at least down to the barns, and so the first thing we need to do is we needed to get our drainage right before we put in this road. And what we had, as you can see, I filled this in with gravel over here. This had nothing going back to that barn. So this is Typar, oversized rock, and then gravel, and it's wide enough, 36 feet wide, around there, 34 feet wide, wide enough to park 3 cars side by side if needed. But there was a culvert in here, and everything used to drain across this road right where I put this parking area. But the bad thing is it was plugged up anyway, so it just sat full of a puddle of water most of the time. So we just covered it up and abandoned it in the road rather than trying to dig it up. And then what we're doing today is we're putting in new culverts. We're putting in a culvert on that side for that side of the parking lot to drain, and putting one on this side for this side of the parking lot to drain. I've rented a mini excavator today to get this work done. I think I've been doing it only about 3 hours, and I've already got both culverts pretty much in. Now I got to clean up all the dirt, haul off all the extra dirt. But as you can see, we use this double wall plastic culvert pipe. It's got a smooth wall on the interior for the water to drain freely, and then it's got the corrugated on the outside. This is way lighter than the galvanized, way easier to work with. You can handle it easy, you can cut it easy. So I went with this just because it's just way easier to handle and to work with than the galvanized. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump in this excavator, and then I'm going to try to get all this dirt work cleaned up, and probably just use this dirt to help fill in where we tore that house down over there. It's been a month now since I rented an excavator and put these culverts in our driveway, and we've been driving over them and everything, so hopefully these culverts have settled and everything's settled out and compacted now. So what I want to do now is I want to pour some concrete end caps around the end of the culverts, and that'll kind of protect the end of the culvert from it deforming if you would accidentally drive over it or something. And it'll give me kind of a retaining wall to help keep the dirt and the road and everything held back. So what I've got here is I've made up some forms out of some 1/2-inch OSB. This is just stuff I had laying around, so I'm using what I had for free. I've screwed some 2x4 to the front of each one of these to help it be more rigid so that it won't bow. And the one with the circle in it, that's going to go on the front. And then this one that's just the half circle and it's a little bit shorter of a form, it's going to go in the back. And then the dirt will be the rest of the form. The way I've shoveled out the actual hole will be the rest of the form for the concrete. I've got a bent up, that's one 10-foot piece of rebar that I've bent to fit in the form. And then I've got some boards that are going to fit on the sides. And then I got some other boards for bracing and some stakes to stake in the ground and kind of hold it in place. So first thing I got to do is I'm going to go ahead and put on this rear form, make sure it's going to fit, and I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 side pieces and make sure to screw those on while it's actually in there. That way I only put in screws that I can take back out later without having to do too much digging. Okay, the rear form is now in, and I've got the sides screwed onto that. You can see the sides don't come all the way down. It's just going to be formed in with the dirt. Like, these are scrap pieces of board, like I said. But the front will come all the way down and into the dirt. I've got the rebar in there. I did have to reshape it because I had it a little too wide. It was too close to the sides. So I had to reshape it, and I got it sitting on a couple of broken concrete block pieces. So now I just got to put on the front section, screw it on, and get it over the culvert screwed on, and then we'll level it up, and we'll brace it with some stakes in the ground. Drive some stakes in the ground, we'll brace it up. Okay, I've got the front mounted on. I've got the braces on, staked down and leveled. So after that, I put some boards on the sides to kind of help fill those gaps, because if you remember, my original sideboards were actually a little short. So I threw some other boards on there just to kind of fill the gap to keep the cement from spilling out. And then I've packed dirt in around the bottom, and then around a little bit on that side to kind of keep the cement from coming out. Now on the back side, you remember the form on the back side is only so high. As I fill this up with concrete, once the concrete gets to the level of that back board, I'll go ahead and I'll put dirt all in this back side here, and that'll prevent any concrete from flowing up and around the back side. But I got to wait until I get the concrete to that level before I throw the dirt on there. So I think I'm ready to go ahead and start pouring now. So I've got the cement mixer here. I'll go ahead and get it out and set up, and then I'm just using bags of concrete, and this is taking anywhere from 600 to 700 pounds of concrete per end here, per form. And what I've been doing is I've just been doing basically one a day. I put the form on, I pour it, the next day I come back, I take it off, I put it on the next one, then I mix it up and pour that one. So I've just been doing one at a time. So this is my third one. So kind of got the system down now, so let's get started pouring concrete. All I'm using is Quickcrete. This is the high strength concrete mix. I went ahead and I put a little bit of water inside the mixer. Let's get going. Now the concrete level is meeting the form on the back. So now is the time I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go fill dirt in on this back side and prevent concrete from coming up the back. That way the form will come out easier later, and then I don't use too much concrete. Okay, now that I've got it roughly kind of leveled off here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tap the form with a hammer. I did that halfway through, and I'm going to do this again at the end and hopefully see if we get any air bubbles, or see if we kind of get all the voids to fill in. There'll be little voids and pockets in there. Okay. You see it's sunk a little bit. Some of the voids have probably filled in. That'll help hopefully make the sides look a little smoother instead of having little gaps and stuff on the sides. Basically now I'm just going to let it sit, come back in probably 45 minutes, an hour, and then try to smooth this off a little bit one more time. Then let it sit overnight. Let's go see, I'll go show you what a finished one looks like. Now this is the last culvert that I did, and you can see how it looks when it's poured. I haven't done any of the dirt work yet. Of course I still need to fill in behind it, and I need to kind of level out the road from where I put the culvert in. And then I need to go ahead and put the dirt around, kind of around the front, and form everything up, and then go ahead and plant my grass seed. But we're pouring the one right now that we were working on. I got one more to pour. After that I can do all this dirt work, get all my grass seed planted, and then I can go ahead and start laying out and hopefully getting the gravel for the driveway. No more driving in mud. Thanks for watching.